I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where we break down all the goals scored in the Premier League. Now today, we're in Nottingham Forest against Manchester United. Didn't think this one would be a draw, but when you look back on it, you go, yeah, okay. I probably should have taken a draw for this game. It would have been sensible. A couple of things I want to point out. Some really, really bad decisions from referees here that cost goals. And of course, we talk about this week in, week out. It's getting to a point where I don't think there's a single game where there isn't obvious errors. Now, there's obvious errors to me and you, but I also think that they're playing by a different rule book. They're playing by rules that just don't exist. I'm just making up things. I really do, because there is no answer for what I'm about to show you later on in this video. But right now, I want to show you this because we all know the rule on this channel. If someone's got their arm up in the next 5 seconds, someone is about to score a goal. Yes, I can't draw an S or an E. Yeah, I'm going crazy. Now, this is a classic example here. Now, the goal doesn't happen, but it almost does, right? But this is an example of showing a player worried about the runner and not the football. What he's just done is told the player on the ball exactly what he's thinking. That's why you don't do this. Well, you're telling him to go down the line. He's on the ball. Why are you telling him to leave this player and go track the run? What are you doing? What's your arm up for? What are you saying? Oh, he's going. He's told him to leave the player and go down the line. So what does he do? He leaves the player and he goes down the line. What does the Nottingham Forest player do? Beats both of them. Because this guy here is a complete, I don't know who it is, it might be Ratface, Bruno Fernandes, is a complete and utter clown. He tells his own teammate to leave tackling the football, go with the imaginary runner that isn't there yet. And because he's running in so fast, his body momentum takes him past any point of being able to tackle the football. So he can just skip past him, bump, go straight past him, and both players are now absolutely stupid. Well, you had them in a situation where you could maybe win the ball. You've just lost the opportunity to win the football because you're bad at football. You should let the one guy on the ball deal with the ball. You deal with the runner. And if the runner keeps going past the guy on the ball, you track him, but you let him be offside. And if the ball does get passed to him as you're in motion, if it was Bruno Fernandes, as this player was in motion, he's the one that tracks him, because the guy that is stood still, he has to start from a standing start. The one on the run tracks the one on the run. The one standing tracks the one standing. No. We'll have the one standing go and chase the runner so the runner can beat him because he's got 3 yards of pace on him because he's already at full pace. And I'll track the guy with the ball, but I'm running so he can beat me. Like, this understanding of football is genuinely like a 10-year-old. I keep saying it. It's like they are so bad at the simple things in football. You talk about third mind, dynamic overlap, pressure pockets. They'll understand that probably. How to tackle the football. Way past them. Absolutely way past them. The problem is, this is what wins and loses you games. When you can't defend the corners, set pieces, understand what the first ball, second ball priorities. This is the important stuff. You can worry about all that other stuff when you've got this foundation in. And you can clearly see United there, shocking. Forest take advantage, gets his shot off. Now, if it wasn't straight at the keeper, he's probably got a decent chance of getting a goal here. But it was straight at the keeper. It makes the keeper look like a good save. But if that's left or right, I think that's in. That's in. And that's from one player running down, telling another player to do something, and it just all breaks down. Comical. Let's move it on, because we've got more ranting to do. Before we get on to the actual corner and the mistakes in the corner, you've got to look at, was the ball a corner in the first place, right? So let's just do it slowly for the referees, because they're morons. There's the line. This is in play. Oh, look, it's on the line. It's still in play. If there's a part of the ball touching the line, still in play. Oh, look, there's daylight. It's not in play. Can we all see that? Yeah. Basics. We can all see that. The referees can't. So when you see that and there's no daylight there, that means that ball's still in play because it's still technically on the line. We all know it. If we draw a line there, oh, that's a terrible line. Let's just draw a better line. I'm brilliant at drawing lines, as you all know. I'm terrible at this rubbish. Right, you can see that's even worse. Yeah, you get it. The ball is still in play all day long. But yeah, that's a corner for some reason. And this is the problem when you do all these other things right and then something goes wrong. And now the reason you like, if I had this in a game and one of my teams was doing this, I'd just be holding my head going, oh, they're going to score. Every single time there's a bad decision like this, your team isn't focused for the corner because they're so angry at the referee for letting this happen that they're not even focused on their actual jobs inside of the 18-yard box and their defensive plays inside the 18-yard box. So this goes on, and you're like, well, you're just jogging back, and you're just, the motivation is very, very difficult to change because you're still in the angry mindset of yelling at the referee about a thing that you know is correct. It shouldn't have been a corner, and he's given it. And now you've got to go and mark your set piece and do your job properly. You still have to, by the way, and you still need to do your job properly. But that's one of the reasons why these things happen. Like every time there's a bad decision, oh my God, if they score, they score from it. That's the reason why. It's the psychology behind the players that's important here. That's what you have to try to fix. That's really difficult. That's the reason people score on these idiot decisions from referees, is because, well, their mind isn't in on it. It's all too quick. Now let's look at the corner itself, because we've got a couple of problems here. Right, you can see this is the guy who's ended up scoring. He's completely unmarked. We've got another one here. So it looks like they're picking up zonal areas with some man-to-man marking, right? Zonal area, you can see there's no one around him. Not happy with that. You can't afford to do that. You can't afford just to be a spare man there, right? Why? Because you've got another spare man there. You cannot have both of you doing nothing. One of you, yes. Two of you, nil point, no points for you. You can't do that. You cannot do that. So when the ball comes in, you can see how many players from Nottingham Forest aren't actually doing anything or aren't marking. They're in these whatever zones they are. Now, I don't mind this play on top of the box. I'm a fan of this. You can't go like too far one side or the other side. You have to be in the middle zone on top of the D. We talk about being on top of the D all the time. It's very important, because if you're not, you will score goals from being on top of the D. We'll see that later on. But you cannot have this. You've got too many players unmarked. You've got too many people on the front post not doing anything. Now, Nottingham Forest's problems have been first balls and second balls, and making sure everyone's not man-marked properly from corners and set pieces. It's a huge problem. Got an analytic video. I'm trying to find some time to do it justice. It's probably going to be an international break where I've done a lot of stuff from what they were doing right last year, wrong for the first couple of games of this year, and where those problems are happening. And this is still the same problem. New manager, same problem. Now, last game with Forest as well, I was moaning about why didn't the players come and help the goalkeeper out here. The goalkeeper's not done a good enough job here for me. Last week, he was in trouble because he was pushed. It should have been a foul. Wasn't. Same thing's happening again this week, and he's not dealing with it. What do you mean he's not dealing? Well, he's not dealing with it. You think he does, but he's not. Watch the difference, right? So as the ball's coming in, what's the keeper doing? Shoving him out of the way. Not one of his teammates has come to his aid again and pulled that player away. So now when he shoved the player out of the way, what's he not concentrating on doing for those second? Watching the ball. He's not watching the ball. Now he's trying to watch the ball. If he wasn't shoving that player, he would be set ready to make a save. He can't. He cannot react to it because he's completely just not ready. He's still in the motion of fighting this player and pushing him off. He's pushed him off, and you'll go, oh yeah, but look, this is too fast. This is happening in real time. This isn't happening with us being able to slow it down and pause. If he's set there, when that header happens, he's able to react to it. Look, it's too late. All too late, because he's too busy fighting with the player and he's not worried about the ball. It's in the corner, down he goes. Yeah, I've seen that before. That's why I know I can call it, because it's exactly what's happening. Let's move. By the way, this was a lovely driven ball out here. Oof, just floated perfectly. I like the pass. Unfortunately, I wish I could just show you and commentate over things. If you want to see that, get on my Patreon. Pretty much everything over there is for free. I'm going to start putting more up this week. It's going to get more. It's going to ramp up over there more through December and January. The more I'm settled, and I've got more time to spend on things. Now, what's the first job? First responsibility is pressure the football. Oh, we're pressuring the football, United. No, what you're doing is you're having a little joggy. That isn't fast enough. What's the next player doing? He's coming out of position. You've got your back 3, 5, 9, whatever nonsense formation this clown keeps playing. Right. In this situation, he's in trouble because he's on his own, right? He needs to pressure the ball, but there's no real close enough player to cover for him, right? To help him out. So if he's pressuring the ball, what the player's either going to beat him, he's going to pass it, cross it, or take a shot. If he beats him, there's no one there to cover for him. If he passes it, there's no one close enough for United to intercept that pass. If he crosses it, it's his fault because he's not close enough. And of course, he can't shoot from out there. Ah, look, different scenario. We don't see this often. He's telling someone where to pass the ball. Ah, see, this is okay when you have possession of the football to be helping your teammates. It's not okay when you're defending. Now, this is the culprit. It's going to sneak in here. The back three, which is rubbish. It really is. You've got to have unique players to play in a back three. It's complicated because, yeah, all your system, it's just different. It really is. So he isn't doing anything. And neither is he. Because they're basically doing the same job in the same space. So when this cross comes in, before the cross comes in, I want to show you more terrible Man United play, right? You know, I said someone needed to go over and help him. Okay? Well, you couldn't because you were actually doing something marking a player. All right? If you go over there, this guy here is completely free. He wanted the ball into the space here. What ends up happening is joggy, 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 joggy. Look, off he goes. Now he's completely free on the top of the 18-yard box because your system's rubbish and he's gone over there to team, which he should do. What needs to happen now is somebody else needs to step in and cover for him and move forward. Doesn't. Completely free. And that's where the cross comes in. What makes this good is two things. First, he's got loads of space on the ball because of the clown defending, right? Makes it easier for him. And he picks out this pass. Bump. It's this quality pick out. Now, look at the defender you've got. This is Amad. He's a tiny little guy trying to defend here on the back post instead of a centre-back defending on the back post because, well, they're not sure what they're doing because you've got two players here, Man United players marking one. I told you he didn't know what he was doing and neither did he. So these two ultimately end up doing nothing. He's marking there. He's still running through on the inside. So when this cross comes over, it's just a simple header. He doesn't even really have to try that hard. Just poor marking, decision-making, understanding about pressuring the ball, where the space on the field arises when you do pressure the ball. Let's move it on because I'm sure I'm going to tear something else apart in a second. You can see United aren't out close enough to defend this again. But he does get close enough to get a ricochet. It's a loopy ball. Loopy balls are terrible to deal with. The reason why is because it's the time the ball is in the air. There's just too much movement underneath it. All right. So think about that. The ball's up in the air. What are you doing as defenders and strikers? You're all moving and jostling for position, and you just miss your timings. Like if you ever done one of those sort of games where it's almost like sometimes like tennis, and the timing is just perfect, and all of a sudden the ball slows down, and the timing's off, and the other person can't return it. Or it's a very similar thing. You can do the thing over and over again as long as the timing is okay. The timing gets changed, and you just can't hit it for rhyme or reason. Same thing when it takes this much time from a looping ball. So we have a couple of United players going for the same ball. That's what I mean about this extra time, because if this was just in real time, one of the players ends up here, just one of them dealing with himself, but somebody else can step in and get in the way. That's what ends up happening. Neither United player really wins or loses the ball. Now it's, what do we do? Who can react? To be fair, only one person really from United can react to stop this, and that's the goalkeeper. But can he? Probably not. It's one of those things where you can go, yeah, maybe, but maybe not. It's too quick. Bump in the back of the net. And if he does come out the keeper, he probably gets beaten by the player. So it's all way too fast. The only thing that you really want to be able to do is defend that cross coming in properly in the first place, so that ricochet doesn't happen, you're tight enough, or not getting each other's way for the header. And the second ball, well, yeah, it should have been there in the first place. You should have been dealing with a header. Sorry, it's my fault. It's not one. It's not two. It's three United players are all going for the same ball. That's why. Yeah. Okay, this is actually quite good from Forest, but it's also bad, right? So let me explain. Ratface has just taken a shot. It's bounced off the post. This is why I'd never have this guy in any football team I'd ever coach or do anything with. He's just had a shot. It's bounced off the post. Another guy's coming in, he misses it because it gets cleared for a corner. He acts like a petulant child. I didn't score, they didn't score. You just get on with the game. Like his body language and his attitude after he doesn't get this, shot or whatever, it's pathetic. He's absolutely pathetic. But the second ball needs to be won, and this is one of the problems that Forest were having, is winning these second balls. In these situations, something's happened. It's in the box. Can they get there? He does. Boom, gets it out for a corner. Fortunately, it goes out for a corner, but won the second ball. Didn't get an easy tap in. Applaud that. The negative is it's gone out for a corner. This is the 14-year-old childlike tantrum from a Man United captain. That's your captain. Pathetic. Pathetic. Okay, so let's look at the problems. What's the first problem I'm going to identify? It's the same problem as the last corner. Oh, look, we've got 2 people doing nothing. You can't have 2 people here like this. You have one either on the penalty spot or up here at the top of the D. You're about to find out why. I'm right. I'm not right because I'm some sort of super genius. I'm right because I've done so much football coaching for so many years, done so much. I know how these things happen. I've lost games against them. I've scored, won games. Coach, it's not difficult. It isn't rocket science. You say what you see and you go through the mistakes one by one. Is there anybody on pushing on the goalkeeper? No, we're happy with that. Keeper's fine. Brilliant. What about everybody on the back post here? It's a bit of a melee. It's a bit of a bundle. Do we win the first header as a Forest? No, Forest do not. Already failed on their first objective. They don't win the first header. United, is that a good header? No, it's down to the ground. It's not really on target. It's nothing really, but it puts it into the danger zone, and that means you have to fight for the second ball. We know Forest are bad at second balls, so from a United point of view, that's a good gamble. Knocking it down, see if we can win the second ball, because we know Forest have not been winning those, and that's how they can be conceding goals. Great. What goes on next? Bump, little bit of a flick. Does the keeper come out and get anything on it? Let's have a look. Does the keeper get to it? No, we get a big, powerful header away. But because of the starting position of Tweedledum and Tweedledee, these two, to see how he has to sprint to react to this? If he's in the middle of the field, he splits the distance either side. It's easy. Now we've defended, we've got rid of that ball. Brilliant. Follow up, win the second ball now, and let's get out of here. Wham! Too late, it's in the back of the net. You could see that coming a mile off because you saw the same corners earlier on where the 2 players stood doing nothing. And any time a ball was going to break, has he hit a worldy strike? Yeah, he has. Scored a 1D goal. But you could have stopped it just by listening to the cash, not having those 2 players, having the one. The one would have defended him. Job's done. You've cleared it properly. You've had an extra player to do something else you want with. And all of a sudden, you've tied a game that you were winning, and you would have got your first win in goodness knows how many games on the score sheet. Other than that, don't forget to do those. I hate saying like and subscribe, please. Yeah, you know how the internet works. You know, don't need me to tell you. And I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.